it is so cool to see this next iteration, this next evolution, you know what I mean, in your soul care journey. But would you have ever have believed, did you know that someday you would have this line, that you would be focusing on soul care this way?
I knew that I was going to create something. I always had the kind of skin challenges, and it was tricky. And I started to learn how, your body is just reflecting how you feel. So how you feel is going to come out of you, in your energy and in your physical. So as I started to learn that, I started to make different changes, and I knew that I wanted to create something that really worked for my skin, for everybody, so as it went on and I created Keys Soul Care, it's efficacious. It is created with a dermatologist. It 100% works. Like, that's, the ingredients are meant to be good for you. But I didn't know I never knew that I was going to call it soul care. Yeah. And it wasn't until that we were having kind of all of our conversations and meetings, and I knew the spirit behind it. I knew it was going to have ritual. I knew it was going to be about pouring into yourself and not being afraid to take care of you and identifying things that work for you or don't. But it wasn't until we had this meeting and I was like, man, we have all these cares. We have air care and hair care and nail care and all these cares, but no one is ever talking about soul care. So it was deep. Deep.
It's so beautiful because you feel it in every one of the products. I'm curious for you now, what is that beauty resolution for 2022? What is that soul care resolution for 2022? Is there a part of the line that you're like, I'm never gonna not be without this?
Oh my gosh. I mean, I think that you're never not gonna be without something that's meaningful and something that actually is effective. And there's like a ceilinglessness to it, because there's no limit to how you can care about yourself.
That's real.
And that happens in a number of ways. And so I love that. So it really, there's just no limit to where we're going to go with it. So my resolution for it is just to continue to be authentic and genuine, and to honor my spirit, and to honor who I am, and to express all the sides of myself and not hold back in any way. And whichever way that looks, I mean, that's what the whole album is about. It's the Keys album is really about these two sides, or these two pieces of the album, original and unlocked. And we all have all these sides inside of us. And so we have to let it out.
Let it out. What I love is an Alicia Keys segue. You hear me? Do you hear a slide on into that thing? And the reason I, in particular, I'm gonna be real. The reason you do some things on the piano in this album that we haven't heard from you in a long time, maybe even for the first time. You also do some things with your voice. There is a sliding of the melody. There's a sliding of octaves. There's almost like a wooing. I would imagine that you probably researched some like healing tones, right? And frequencies, because you can definitely feel your space change. But the thing that I wanted to say to you about the album is that I felt like you achieved this thing that is very difficult for artists to do, which is take us back to that feeling we had on your first album. Right?
Wow.
It's not nostalgic in this way that you're like doing throwbacks, but that, when you're first releasing an album as an artist, the stakes are so high. That first album is all of your life's work up until that moment. It feels like you recaptured that energy. I'm getting emotional. But it feels like you recaptured that energy. And the reason I get emotional, Alicia, is because it takes me back to hearing this album and where I was in my own life, right?
I hear you. Wow.
Yeah. Was it that journey for you? Was it that kind of, you talk about not showing off, but then you talk about showing up and showing out. And I feel like you did that this time.
You know what? I'm actually really big on showing off now. I actually believe that we deserve to show off.
Come on.
We don't have to contain ourselves. We don't have to hold it back. And we don't have to like dim out the brilliance that's within us. And I think that so many of us a lot of times feel like we have to. And I'm over it. I'm finished with it. Keys is definitely about like being your most incredible, your most brilliant, your most powerful, your most sensual, your most whatever you are in the day that you are it. Your most raw, your most honest, your most musical, like whatever it is, you get to be 100%, 100.
You. 100.
when you say it brings you back, that means so much to me because I feel like one of the things I said at the beginning of the project was, this is my lane. These keys, this music, these songs, my pen, the way that we can relate and connect through the honest emotions of life. This is my lane and I'm driving in it. So that's what the inspiration was. And so to hear you say like you feel that,
Yeah.
and it brings you to that place is amazing.
It is. It is invigorating. I was watching this interview with Adele, and she talked about how she is staying in the lane of like, I know what I'm here to do and who I'm here to make music for and why I'm making music. That the TikToks and the social media, this and all of that, that's somebody else's job. My job is this. And I feel like you totally relate to that.
You know what? One thing I do feel though, is that I do feel I love this word timeless. And I also, why I love that is because why I love this music, the Keys album, is because we have this original side, which is what we're talking about, which is my lane 100%, the piano, the music, the songs. And then we have this unlocked side, which is actually we sampled the original songs and made them a whole other perspective. And for me, I grew up in New York. I'm born and raised in a city that has all these sounds and all these sonics and all of these worlds colliding. Yeah. I love that. So I love to express all these different sides of myself. So I could be in, at the Grammys or at the ballroom, and I can also be on TikTok and do a fresh show too. Like for me, there's no limit to where I belong. You know what I mean?
I hear that.
And I love that. So I'm open to all my sides and to all my expressions, and everybody can get with it. Nobody's excluded. Everyone belongs here and I belong everywhere. So that's how I feel.
I hear that. Listen, speaking of belonging and from the Grammys to the carpet to the TikTok, there is something to be said about the way that you have shown up from day one. And I want to take you on a brief fashion flashback, because I believe the first day we saw you, right, with the braids and the cap, you know what I mean, and in pants, there was this signal that happened for all of us watching that was like, oh, wait, I can do this, right? Like I can feel comfortable. I can rock that in a way. I mean, come on.
Hey,
come on.
Kind of how I look right now.
I know. Right. What do you remember about this look? I mean, come on with the.
I think that was the VMAs, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe I could be wrong, but I love that look. I love some leather. I love like it had like soulful rock and roll vibes. It had even like the engraving in it with the red, which is
the really cutouts. Yeah. Come on, cutout.
I was always about hats. If you remember, it was always a fedora, or that was like a newsboy or whatever it was. And, and I love that look. I love that vibe. And me, I'm tomboy chic. That's how I define myself.
Talk about it. Chic. Talk about tomboy chic. You have on a denim glove.
Come on, denim glove.
At
denim
the Grammys.
glove,
come on.
Denim jeans and this like play on, I don't know, the turn of the century.
Yeah.
Corseted dress with the tufting in the back. It's like, I love how this mixes worlds. Back to mixing worlds. That's what we're talking about with Keys. That's why it's taking you back to the beginning, because I've always mixed worlds, and that's what I'll always do.
Speaking of, at one point I was like, wait, is Swizz and Alicia getting married at the Met Gala? Because
I'll tell you what.
I feel like we're at the wedding. I feel like we all got a ticket we were at the reception for sure.
I love that so much. The amount of tool and bigness that was in that. I just love, again, Keys is all about not holding back. Nothing is too much anymore for all of us. We don't have to say, oh, that's too much. Oh, that's too, no, be too much, be out loud, be completely you. So that's what I'm expressing. And I love that. Yes, you are invited to the wedding.
Yes, bam, invited to the wedding. Come on. This look, I believe this was one of the looks that you went out with almost no makeup on, right? And you talk about how you used to leave the house worried, concerned about what if they see, what if they, people are going to see me, what is this, what is that? But then you show up like this. were you empowered at this time? I mean, I feel like it definitely feels that way.
I am absolutely empowered. This is a newer picture, actually. I love that. I love that piece. Again, I love how it mixes kind of the pants with the flow, and it's like queenly and strong, but it's also cool. I love all of that.
Yeah.
For me, my relationship with beauty is really, I think, just one of an uncovering and continuing to discover who you are. How do you want to express? Who am I? Like, what do I feel good about? And I think it's so incredible to be able to discover who you want to be. And now I have just such a different relationship with beauty because I realize it's my choice. You know what I mean? Sometimes I want to be completely barefaced. Sometimes I want a gorgeous red lip. Sometimes I want a full face and everything. Whatever I want, I get to do whatever I want.
Because
whatever
you want it.
feel good, and it's your choice. So I love that. I love that my relationship with it has really come full circle to understand that it's all about you. It's all about you.
Now I'm going to leave you with this last question, and I want to ask because I feel like your relationship for a long time for a lot of people has become goals, right? You and Swizz have created this beautiful blended family, this beautiful signal to the universe that you can have the things you're willing to work toward. But I'm curious about what you would want kind of the world to know about how y'all continue, right, to reinvent, to reinvigorate, and commit to your relationship these days.
Oh man, that's so beautiful. What a beautiful, beautiful question. Thank you for asking that question. It's so special when we
look at you.
No, I had a funny thing to say. When we first got married, I said to him, you know what we should do is write our own, we should write our own kind of contract to each other, like our own words of promises that we want to uphold, because I said, you have a paper that whoever tells you you're supposed to sign, but what does that paper do? Like, our commitment to each other is because we're choosing like what life, how we want to create our life, and how we want to love each other, and all of this. So I said, so let's just make our own promises and promise it to each other and write it down. So I feel like for him and I, and for our family, which I love our family, I'm so proud of our family, it's really all about showing up for each other. It's all about making the time for each other. It's all about creating special moments for each other, teaching each other, sharing meals together, taking the kids to the games, and showing up and being there, and they show up for us, and we show up for each other as a family. And so it's beautiful to just commit to really that love, that bond, that strength, and just the time, because it takes time. Keep getting to know each other, and keep, because we're all growing. And so every day we get to learn each other again. So I love what you shared. I love what you said. Thank you for uplifting us, you know what I mean? And for definitely just like, your energy is amazing.
Yours is. Listen, I'm a reflection of the greatness that's in front of me. You know what I mean? 100%. You are, and have long been, an inspiration to me, and someone who I have, every time we've had an interaction, you show up in a way that is so authentic. And I want to be respectful of the time. So I so appreciate the way that you show up all the time. Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate it. But when y'all open the doors to that damn Iron Man house, I about lost it. I said, ain't that about it? They keep winning. You keep winning. So keep winning, love.
Thank you. Thank you. And you too.
We out here.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.